Here's a quick run through of the Vinyl-2-Mac kit, which you can find at vinyl-2-mac.co.uk. The kit basically consists of some leads, adapters, and a CD with our instructions and the Audacity software. If I scroll down a little, you can see this is what Audacity looks like on screen. This is what the open source Burn application looks like on screen. So we'll record tracks in Audacity and then drag them into Burn to create a proper audio CD. Or you can save tracks in Audacity as MP3 files and then drag them into iTunes or another player of your choice. Here you can see the back of an iMac G5, and there are a number of small sockets. One of those is for putting headphones in, and the other one is a line-in socket for an audio source. Here it is in close-up. You can see it looks like a circle with two big ears, something like that, and that's an audio-in socket. Now, not all Macs have those, as we say here. Currently, the MacBook and MacBook Air don't appear to have a 3.5mm line in, but certainly all the desktop iMacs do. And here we can see the headphone socket on a regular amplifier. That might have a cassette player, record player, minidisc player, or even the radio. Anything that's coming out of that headphone socket can be recorded using our kit. Also, it's worth mentioning that some older stereos won't have that small headphone socket. They'll have this 1/4-inch jack, and that's why we supply you with this adapter. This is a lead of varying lengths between 5 and 25 meters, and it has a 3.5mm jack on either end. And this phono adapter really is more for using your Mac and playing it through the stereo. So using the facility of your good speakers and amplifier to play back your music in iTunes. You plug one end of this lead into the headphone socket on the back of the Mac, and you plug these phono plugs into the line-in sockets on the back of your amplifier, and that way you can get a really good sound. Okay. You can see there are various kits for sale here. 5 meters in length, $11.95. 10 meters, $14.95, 25 meters, $17.95. We also make a charge for post and packing. To the UK, it's £3.50, $4.75 for the 10 meter kit, or $5.45 for the 25 meter kit, which makes it £23.40 in total. We can also ship to Australia, Europe, and the United States, and the prices for that start at $9.95. Okay, so that's the website. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so when you pop in the CD that you get with our kit, it will open on the desktop like this. And if you go and look in that folder, it takes a second to open. You can see there are various folders here. Audacity, Burn. There's a version in there for older versions of Macs. The default setup here is for the Intel Macs. So what we're going to do is drag this Audacity folder onto the desktop. Now I've already done that, so let's bring that folder up. Okay, so here's the Audacity folder on the desktop. If I double click on that, you can see then there are a number of files here. So this saves installing it and makes it just easier for a beginner to use, but you can actually put it all neatly away in your applications folder if you wish. Okay, so I'm just going to double click on Audacity now. Okay, so that's open. So go to File and New. Let's get this window out of the way. Okay, so this is the main Audacity screen, and you've got various options here. You can record, stop, play, pause, You can alter the volume coming in. Now we want to go and check that we have selected the right input. Obviously I'm currently using a USB microphone to record this, so we don't want to turn that off. So if you go to Audacity and Preferences, and you can see here a list of devices that it's using. So for recording, let's have a look at the options. Okay, so currently I'm using this USB microphone. We don't want to use the built-in microphone because we're actually connecting a cable to the Mac, so this is the correct one here, built-in input. Okay, so we know now when we press record we'll get a signal coming in. Here you can adjust the input volume. We'll set it quite low because it's going to have to compete with this microphone. Okay, so I've now got a tape recorder, iPod, record player, whatever, with a headphone socket, and I'm going to press play. Okay, and now I'm going to press record. You can see a window opens here with a stereo track. I can turn this volume up. I could turn up the volume on the playing device as well if I wished. Okay, so I'm now going to press stop. Okay, so now we can see we've recorded a piece of music here. You can actually make it so it more or less fills these spaces, but if it's constantly filling these spaces top and bottom, then it's too loud basically, and you can tell by ear whether you're getting a good result or not. So let's click somewhere and play a piece of the recording. Okay, so let's turn the system volume up a little. In fact, it is quite up already. Okay, so let's turn the playback volume up in Audacity. So you can hear that's perfectly clear. Okay, so now imagine that's the whole side of an album or just a single track. You can go to File and Export. We'll assume we've done one track and give it a name, BB King, and we'll choose to save it in MP3 format. Click Save, and then these are MP3 tags, and if you drag that MP3 file into iTunes, it will then know who the artist is and what the track name is, etc. I'm going to click on Cancel. Let's drag that window there. On Cancel. Now imagine that I recorded the whole side of a cassette, say. On screen right now we'd have, imagine that's a whole track there, and this is another track here, and this is another track here. So I want to just save this track, which is a complete song. So I'd drag the mouse across it to highlight it, then go to File and Export Selection, and then I can give that track a name, or I can save it as a WAV file. So we can maybe call it track 1 and save. Cancel because WAV files don't have metadata, they're just for burning to a regular audio CD. So we'll click cancel there. So that's now saved on the hard drive as track 1. I could now repeat and highlight this one. That could be track 2. Export selection again, give it a name again. Make sure you get the gist of this. So you could end up with multiple tracks saved in the Audacity folder on your desktop, and you can then drag them into the Burn application, which is also on the CD. I'll show you that in a second. That's pretty much it for Audacity. As you heard though, the quality is very, very good. Right, let's bring up Burn.